You're right. I mean, I'm like a father figure to a lot of my guys because one thing I did accept to care about the fighters. At the end of the day, we had to protect the fighters. And the fighters...
Now we might understand why Calvin Ford shared that mysterious message on Instagram. At first, it didn't make sense, those strong words about suffering and beliefs. But now, looking at Gervonta Davis's recent behavior, everything starts to make sense.
Will Calvin be with you on this fight? Huh? Will Calvin be with you on this fight?
I don't know. We gotta see.
Ford, Davis's longtime trainer and mentor, seems to have reached his breaking point with Tank's new behavior. And honestly, you can't blame him. What's going on with Gervonta getting distracted when there's so much at stake? From Tank announcing that the fight is canceled, to the growing tension in his camp and the rapid decline of the public image of a champion, it's all getting...
Explain something to you. Tank don't look at me as coach, he look at me as dad. Do it look like his son supposed to be taking your dad? I don't even feel right. Y'all...
Davis's fight with Lamont Roach Jr. was meant to be his opportunity to silence critics who claimed Roach was an easy target. But instead of confirming his status, Davis seems to be falling apart. From smoking to high-profile social media posts that leave both fans and opponents confused, it's been one questionable decision after another. And that's likely what's driving Ford crazy. He's the one trying to keep everything together, while Davis appears determined to tear it all up.
Always, he come to fight. And I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about, oh, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for...
Ford's cryptic post appeared. Fans weren't sure how to interpret it. Was it about Davis? Was it related to the canceled fight, or was it something more personal? But now, considering everything, it's hard not to see it as a frustrated mentor calling out his own fighter in the only way he could, without making things worse publicly. And let's not forget, this isn't the first time Calvin Ford has had to deal with Davis's unpredictable behavior. Ford has always seemed like the patient, guiding figure, trying to keep Tank focused. But patience wears thin, especially when millions of dollars, reputations, and legacies are at stake. This time, Ford's tone feels could be that Tank posted the cancellation news while not sober, as that's the only thing that makes sense right now. Plus, Roach didn't even know the fight was canceled until Davis blurted it out on Instagram. Imagine training day and night, preparing for the biggest fight of your career, only to find out your opponent isn't even taking it seriously. Roach, of course, kept it cool on social media, saying, "I'm locked in, nothing changed," but you can't help but feel like he's just as confused as the fans are. And speaking of fans, they aren't holding back. Social media is buzzing with criticism. Some are defending Davis, saying he's under too much pressure, while others are blasting him for wasting his be the greatest, but instead, he's out here playing games, one fan wrote. Another chimed in, "Why even bother with the fight if you're not going to take it seriously? Calvin should let him sink or swim." Ford's post hints at a deeper frustration, maybe even disappointment. The words "people often fail to comprehend my suffering" feel heavy, like he's been carrying Davis's burden for too long. Ford isn't just a trainer, he's been a father figure to Davis, guiding him from a troubled youth in Baltimore to becoming one of the biggest names in boxing. For someone like Ford, who's seen the worst of life, watching Davis squander opportunities must feel personal.
Been with me since I was 7. I used to sleep in Coach Calvin's house. I used to sleep at his job when he was working at a seafood restaurant in Baltimore.
Get the business side of things. A canceled fight doesn't just hurt Davis. It affects everyone involved, from promoters to sparring partners. Roach's camp is probably furious right now, and PBC, the fight's promoters, have been silent, which only adds fuel to the fire. Tickets for the March 1st event are still being sold, raising the question, is the fight really canceled, or is this just another one of Davis's impulsive moves that he'll later walk back? Some fans think this drama could actually work in Davis's favor. Controversy sells, after all. But at what cost? If Davis keeps burning bridges with his team, he might find himself in a lonely place when the spotlight fades. Fighters like Floyd Mayweather, who once mentored Davis, have already distanced themselves from him. How long before Calvin? The smoking situation. Davis's alleged smoking habit has been a recurring topic among fans and insiders. It's no secret that boxing demands discipline, and any distraction, especially one as damaging as substance use, can derail a career faster than a knockout punch. Ford, who's always preached hard work and focus, must feel like his words are falling on deaf ears. Imagine dedicating your life to shaping a champion, only to watch them throw it all away for temporary highs.
Floyd situation, you know, Floyd is Floyd. That's like I say, Tank is Tank, man. But at the end of the day, you know, the man is chasing greatness. And you should be supporting that. I always tell you that.
Surprising is how calm Ford's response has been, at least on the surface. That Instagram post could have easily turned into a full-blown rant, but instead, it was measured, almost philosophical. Maybe that's Ford's way of sending a warning without creating more drama. But make no mistake, his patience isn't limitless. If Davis doesn't get it together soon, we might see Ford walking away, leaving Davis to face the consequences of his actions. Is the canceled fight. It's the kind of chaos that keeps people talking. But while the headlines might be entertaining, the reality for Davis and his team is far from it. However, we can't deny one thing. Controversy sells. Maybe this is just a way of promoting Tank to sell his upcoming fight. After all, this wouldn't be the first time Calvin Ford has made heated comments about Tank. He even recently said he doesn't really like how Tank knocks out. Calvin Ford, the guy who's been in Tank's corner since day one, isn't into knockouts. He prefers drawn-out wars where opponents leave the ring battered, remembering the pain instead of the punch that sent them down. And yet, here we are with Davis, a knockout artist, celebrated for his brutal finishes. It's almost ironic, but maybe that's the point. Think about it. Ford's recent comments about not being impressed with knockouts felt oddly timed, especially with all the chaos surrounding Davis right now. Is it just frustration, or is there something bigger at play? Maybe Ford is trying to subtly push Tank to evolve, to be more than just a highlight reel fighter. After all, the man's old school. He values endurance and punishment, gritty, grinded-out battles that leave a lasting legacy. In his eyes, knockouts might be flashy, but they don't tell the full story of a fight. Some fans think Ford's comments are less about boxing philosophy and more about power dynamics. Is this his way of reminding Davis who's really in charge? Ford has always been the steady hand guiding Tank's career, but with Davis's rising fame, it wouldn't be surprising if tensions are bubbling beneath the surface. Publicly criticizing your star pupil, even in a roundabout way, sends a message. It's like saying, "Don't forget who got you here." Let's not forget the possibility that this could all be part of a smarter strategy. The more we talk about it, the more tickets sell. By downplaying Tank's knockouts, Ford might be stirring the pot, making fans curious about what's next. And Ford's stance on knockouts isn't just about Tank. It's a glimpse into the coach's broader philosophy. He shared that story about young Davis and the Nationals, terrified of the pro gloves. The idea of taking heavy hits made him hesitate about going pro. That vulnerability, that fear, it's what makes Davis human. Ford didn't just teach him how to fight, he taught him how to channel that. As Ford still seems conflicted about what Davis has become. He molded Tank into a knockout machine, yet he's not fully on board with it. Maybe it's because knockouts, while thrilling, are fleeting. They're moments, not stories. And Ford, he's all about the stories. The kind that stick with you. The kind where fighters say, "Tank punished me." So where does that leave Gervonta? In a strange spot, honestly. On one hand, he's the guy everyone tunes in to see, the electrifying knockout artist who can end a fight in seconds. On the other, he's got a coach who isn't fully sold on that style. And let's be real, that's gotta mess with your head. Imagine your mentor, the person who shaped your entire career, basically saying, "Yeah, you're great, but you're not what I envisioned." Might be exactly what Davis needs to grow. Ford's criticisms, cryptic as they are, could be pushing Tank to expand his game and prove he's more than just raw power. Maybe that's why Ford shared that post about suffering. It's not just about his own struggles, but about the growing pains of a fighter trying to reach the next level. But let's not pretend everything is smooth sailing in the Davis-Ford camp. The timing of all this, the canceled fight, the social media drama, Ford's public comments, feels too chaotic to be entirely calculated. It's like watching a powder keg slowly ignite.